Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be here today to talk about dating in your 50s and beyond, the new rules for men. Today, we'll explore how dating has changed for men over 50, and more importantly, how you can navigate this new landscape with confidence. We'll cover what to expect, what to avoid, and how to position yourself as a high-value man at this stage of life. So, let's dive into understanding why dating now is a whole new game, and why that's actually good news. Let's talk honestly about the challenges men over 50 often face when it comes to dating. As we get older, there are insecurities that just didn't exist in our youth. For example, approaching retirement can bring a mix of excitement and uncertainty. Job stability might become less certain, which can shake our confidence. Health issues or mobility concerns can also make us feel self-conscious. You might be dealing with ED or weight gain, and hair loss is another common concern. All of these things can affect how we see ourselves and how confident we feel in social settings. But here, the key point, these challenges do mean your chances with women are over. In fact, women over 50 understand that nobody is perfect. They've been through life too. What truly matters is how you handle these imperfections, how you carry yourself. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity and resilience. So, even with these challenges, your value remains intact, and your ability to connect remains strong. That's the core message I want you to keep in mind as we go forward in this presentation. Let's talk about the differences between dating younger women and women your age. Starting with younger women in their 20s and 30s. Yes, it is definitely possible. Men do it all the time. But it's important to understand that young women tend to evaluate older men differently. They often look for qualities like fitness for your age, financial stability, confidence, and a sense of status. They also value leadership and decisiveness. Younger women can bring a lot of fun, energy, and playfulness to the table, which is great. However, there are some risks to keep in mind. For instance, there can be a mismatch in lifestyle and life goals. They might lack shared life experience, which can create gaps in understanding. Plus, there's always some uncertainty about future motherhood, since biological clocks are a factor. And emotional maturity can vary, so be aware that some younger women might not be as emotionally developed as you are. Also, a quick note, if a woman in her 20s says she never wants kids, be cautious. Because biology is undefeated, and her feelings could change over time. Now, let's shift to dating women in their late 30s, 40s, or 50s. The advantages here are significant. These women often share more maturity and life experience with you, making for a more grounded connection. They're likely to have their own financial stability, which is a big plus. Plus, they're past the phase of confusing bad boy behavior with true compatibility, so they tend to value emotional safety and stable masculinity more. That said, there are challenges too. Health issues can become more prominent, and there might be complexities around children and co-parenting. Some women carry emotional baggage that they haven't fully processed, which can impact a relationship. Also, women at this stage may be more set in their ways and less willing to compromise. Ultimately, for both of you at this stage of life, the focus shifts more towards genuine compatibility rather than just raw attraction. It's about finding a partner who aligns with your values, life goals, and emotional needs. Everyone over 50 has baggage. You do, she does. And that's completely normal. The key is understanding what you're willing to work on and what you need to accept in a partner. It's about knowing your flaws, those quirks or habits you're willing to improve, and recognizing which flaws you can genuinely live with in someone else. It's also crucial to identify your deal breakers, those non-negotiables that you simply cannot accept. At this stage in life, it's not about changing each other. It's about acceptance. You're not here to transform someone, and she's not here to change you. Compatibility becomes more about accepting each other's baggage and flaws than trying to fix them. That understanding is what really lays the foundation for a lasting, meaningful connection. Let's talk about a crucial difference: widowed versus divorced. If you are a widower, dating another widow can often feel easier because they truly understand grief and the process of loss. They respect your past and won't feel threatened by your memories of your late wife. It creates a shared empathy that can deepen your connection. On the other hand, if you are divorced, there are important lessons to face. Most divorces aren't one-sided. They usually reflect that somewhere along the line, things didn't work out, whether you dropped the ball or the relationship simply grew apart. This gives you a valuable opportunity to reflect and ask yourself some key questions. What do I want to do differently this time? What are the behaviors or patterns I refuse to repeat? What mistakes have I learned from that I can now correct? And what expectations must I set from the very beginning to build a healthier relationship? Remember, this is a second chance. Don't waste it. It's about approaching new beginnings with awareness, learning from the past, and intentionally creating a better future. This understanding ties into our overall theme of growth and renewal in the journey of love. When it comes to older women as partners, there's a shift in what they value. They're no longer interested in chasing chaos or bad boys. The game has definitely changed. What they really want now is a man who exhibits true leadership, someone who leads without being a tyrant. Confidence is key, but it's about genuine self-assurance, not arrogance. Decisiveness is also important, being able to make clear choices without hesitation. And when it comes to masculinity, it's about authenticity, not toxicity. If you've been in a long marriage, you might feel like you've lost some of that masculine edge. But here's the good news. It's absolutely possible to regain it. Older women tend to prefer men who are stable, grounded, and emotionally mature. So, it's really about cultivating those qualities and understanding what truly makes a strong, attractive partner. This connects directly to our overall theme, building meaningful, mature relationships based on genuine qualities rather than superficial notions. Marriage over 50 can be a complex topic, especially when considering the legal landscape today. Generally speaking, current marriage laws tend to lean more in favor of the spouse who is not the man, which is important for any man thinking about remarrying at this stage of life. If you have the option to avoid remarrying altogether, it might be worth considering, because the risks and potential complications can be significant. However, if your religious beliefs or personal values do lead you toward marriage, then it's crucial to take steps to protect yourself. One of the most important measures is to get a prenuptial agreement. Just keep in mind, this only works if it's enforceable in your region, so legal advice is essential. Another key point is to date women who are financially independent. This can help prevent issues down the line related to financial dependency or disputes. Early discussions about inheritance and assets are also vital. Being upfront now can save a lot of trouble later. It's also important to align your expectations with your potential partner before making any commitments. Open, honest conversations early on can prevent misunderstandings and conflicts later. Remember, your assets, your children, and your future stability all depend on clarity, not just romance. Being proactive and informed is your best strategy to safeguard your interests as you navigate these important life decisions. Let's talk about what women over 50 need to bring to the table. Men tend to increase their value with age, especially if they build wealth, status, or influence. But women don't necessarily gain sexual market value just by getting older. So what do women need to focus on? Well, qualities like femininity, health, fitness, emotional warmth, humor, grace, and a positive attitude become essential. And I want to emphasize, this is simply biological reality, not a judgment. Now, on the flip side, if you're an older woman with power, money, status, health, or intelligence, you can attract many people. But if you feel you're lacking in those areas, ask yourself, what am I offering? What could I improve? How can I boost my confidence, my fitness, or my social presence? Remember, it's never too late to become a better version of yourself. And the effort you put into self-improvement is exactly what attracts the right person. The key is to focus on what you can control, your growth, your confidence, and that's what makes you truly magnetic. When it comes to older women, especially those over 50, they tend to appreciate directness. And by that, I mean giving it to them straight. You see, by the time you hit 50, you've lived a lot, you've seen things, experienced ups and downs, and you've earned the right to speak clearly and honestly. Women in this age group, particularly older women, expect you to be upfront. They want you to state your intentions directly, ask questions boldly, and hold boundaries without hesitation. It's also important to say what you want and what you don't want. And the interesting part is, they will do the same for you. Now, don't confuse this straightforwardness with interrogation. It's actually about efficiency. Clear communication saves everyone time and energy. Moving on to the looks mattering after 50. Yes, they still matter, but not quite in the same way as when you were younger. When we're younger, beauty often seems to be about superficial appearance. But as we age, women tend to care more about qualities like grooming, cleanliness, confidence, energy, posture, and overall presence. Your physical condition actually communicates a lot about your lifestyle. And that's what really resonates now, more than just genetics. It's about how you carry yourself, how you take care of yourself, and the energy you project. Ultimately, it's these elements that leave a lasting impression, regardless of age. Let's talk about some practical tips for dating over 50 that can really make a difference. First, upgrading your style immediately is key. If you haven't changed your look in 20 years, it's noticeable. Consider getting a modern haircut, updating your clothing, and choosing shoes that fit your age and personality. Also, pay attention to grooming habits, things like removing nose and ear hair, maintaining your beard or shaving cleanly, whitening your teeth naturally, and using just one spray of cologne. These little details show effort and confidence. Next, it's important to understand the numbers game. Women closer to your age are likely to show more interest, but that doesn't mean you should settle for less. Always filter wisely because it's better to be alone than with the wrong person. Now, where can men over 50 meet women? While dating apps can work, it's crucial to pick the right ones. Avoid Tinder, which is mostly based on looks. Instead, try dating sites specifically for people 50 and over, apps that require more profile information or paid memberships for higher quality matches or interest-based groups. Community events, volunteer organizations, travel groups, dance classes, and fitness groups are also excellent places to meet like-minded people. Anywhere with shared interests is a good starting point. Remember, dating after 50 isn't the end of your romantic life. It's the beginning of a new, wiser, more intentional chapter. You're no longer the young guy trying to prove himself. You're a man with a rich history, depth, and experience. By upgrading your appearance, staying healthy, knowing your value, and setting clear standards, you'll attract the right women. The key is simple: improve yourself for yourself. Be honest and direct, stay confident, and choose wisely. And always keep in mind, being single is often better than settling for the wrong partner.